Trump and Turkey. Why inside the NATO summit that could change global power? What if one meeting, one handshake, and one summit could reshape the future of Europe, the Middle East, Ukraine, and even the growing rivalry with China? Today, leaders from across the NATO alliance have gathered in Turkey, but the world's attention is focused on one man, Donald Trump. His arrival in Ankara is more than just another diplomatic visit. It comes at a time when the world is facing multiple crises. The war in Ukraine, growing tensions in the Middle East, the expanding military competition in the Indo-Pacific, and rising questions about the future of NATO itself. So why is this summit so important? What does President Erdogan want? What does Donald Trump want? And why are Russia, China, Iran, and even European leaders watching every move? Welcome to Geopol AI. This is the story behind Trump's visit to Turkey, and why this NATO summit could become one of the most important geopolitical meetings of the year. One, why Turkey matters. When people think about NATO, many immediately think about Washington, London, Berlin, or Paris. But Turkey occupies one of the most strategic locations on Earth. It sits between Europe, Asia, the Black Sea, the Mediterranean, and the Middle East. Almost every major geopolitical crisis passes close to Turkish territory. For decades, Turkey has served as NATO's southeastern shield. It controls access to the Black Sea through the Bosporus and Dardanelles. It borders regions affected by conflicts in Syria, Iraq, the Caucasus, and the Eastern Mediterranean. That makes TGRKI why impossible to ignore. No major NATO strategy can succeed without Ankara. 2. Why Trump came. Donald Trump's visit is not only ceremonial. His agenda includes several issues: the future of NATO, defense spending, the Ukraine conflict, military cooperation, counterterrorism, regional security, and relations with Turkey itself. Trump has often argued that NATO members should spend much more on defense. He believes every ally must contribute more instead of relying heavily on the United States. That message remains one of the central themes of this summit. 3. Erdogan's position. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan enters this summit with significant influence. Turkey has become an increasingly independent regional power. It has expanded its domestic defense industry, built advanced drones, produced naval vessels, invested heavily in missile technology, and strengthened its diplomatic role across several regions. At the same time, Turkey maintains communication with both NATO allies and countries outside the alliance. This unique position allows Ankara to play the role of mediator during international crises. For Erdogan, this summit is also an opportunity to demonstrate Turkey's growing importance on the world stage. For the Ukraine war. Although the summit covers many issues, Ukraine remains one of the biggest. The conflict has transformed European security. NATO members continue discussing military assistance, long-term defense planning, industrial production, and deterrence. Every decision made here could influence the future balance of power across Europe, 5. The China factor. While NATO was originally created to confront challenges in Europe, China is becoming part of the discussion. Beijing's expanding military capabilities, technological competition, and growing global influence have attracted increasing attention. Several NATO members believe future security challenges will not be limited to Europe alone. The Indo-Pacific has become part of the strategic conversation. That is another reason why this summit matters far beyond Europe. 6. The Middle East. Another important issue is regional instability. Conflicts in the Middle East continue affecting global energy markets, maritime security, migration, and international diplomacy. Turkey's geographical location makes it central to these discussions. As tensions continue, coordination between allies becomes increasingly important. 7. Defense spending. One of the biggest debates involves military budgets. Trump has repeatedly argued that stronger alliances require stronger investment. Several countries have increased defense spending in recent years. Others continue facing pressure to do more. The outcome of these discussions could influence NATO planning for years to come. 8. Why the world is watching. Markets are watching. Military planners are watching. Governments are watching. Because every statement made during this summit could influence global security. A single announcement can affect stock markets, defense industries, energy prices, international diplomacy, and future military cooperation. This is no ordinary meeting. It is one of the most closely watched geopolitical events of the year. Conclusion. The world today is becoming increasingly unpredictable. Old alliances are evolving. New rivalries are emerging. Technology is transforming warfare. And diplomacy has become more important than ever. Trump's visit to Turkey is not simply about photographs or ceremonies. It is about the future direction of NATO, the future of European security, the future of relations with Russia, and the growing competition shaping the 21st century. The decisions made here may influence global politics long after this summit ends. And that is exactly why the entire world is watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe to Geopol AI, where we explain the world's biggest geopolitical stories, one documentary at a time.